Have you ever had that feeling? You're walking to the grocery store, a powerful track playing in your headphones, and suddenly you feel like the protagonist of a movie. You're marching towards some epic turning point, a grand destiny that's just around the corner. But then, you take off your headphones. The cashier asks if you want a plastic bag, and the illusion of being the chosen one instantly shatters into 1,000 unremarkable pieces. Our generation seems to suffer from a collective anxiety, a main character syndrome. From the moment we could understand language, we've been fed a single, relentless script. You must be extraordinary. You're told you have to be like Walter Mitty, jumping out of helicopters and fighting off sharks just to prove your life wasn't a clerical error. We've turned our existence into a project to be managed, rather than a life to be lived. We've become architects of a future that never arrives, convinced that real life only starts once we finally become someone. We are so busy trying to be remarkable that we've forgotten how to be human. We are caught in the ambition trap, believing that happiness is a prize for achievement, rather than a frequency of presence. And here's the thing. It used to be that your only competition was the guy living next door. Now, your competition is the entire world. While you're working late and eating a dry sandwich over your keyboard, the algorithm serves you a photo of Keanu Reeves eating on a park bench. But for him, that's returning to basics. For you, it feels like failure. This misalignment breeds a toxic kind of survivor bias. We stare at the top 1%, the outliers, the icons, the genetic lottery winners, and our brains interpret this as the new baseline. We've reached a point where having a weekend without upskilling feels like a crime against our own potential. We have outsourced our self-worth to an algorithm that never sleeps, building our identities on the shifting sands of external validation. We've been told that settling is a sin, but we've confused settling with contentment. We are terrified that if we stop running, we will simply cease to exist in the eyes of the world. We are afraid that if we aren't the best, we are nothing at all. But this binary, greatness or nothingness, is a cage built out of pixels and pressure. I think often of the most moving scene in Everything Everywhere All at Once. After traveling through the vast madness of the multiverse, after seeing versions of herself as a movie star and a martial arts master, what does Evelyn choose? She chooses to return to her messy, chaotic laundromat. She chooses to face her taxes and her family. Why? Because she realized that the grand adventure is often just a distraction from the only thing that's real. The messy, ordinary now. Real heroism isn't about hearing the roar of a crowd. It's about looking at the mundane reality of your life and still being willing to scrub the grease off a dinner plate with a sense of peace. It's about the courage to be just a neighbor, just a parent, just a friend. Rejecting the prepackaged template of success to define your own quiet happiness is far harder than following the herd toward the summit. In the film Soul, we meet Joe Gardner, a man who believes his entire purpose is to be a legendary jazz pianist. He thinks he's nothing until he hits the big stage, but when he finally gets there, he realizes the view isn't what he expected. The spark of life wasn't the career. It was the moment a maple seed drifted into his palm. It was the taste of a pizza crust. It was the feeling of being alive in the quiet spaces between the noise. We don't need more achievements. We need more presence. When you stop running to become someone, you finally have the space to see who you actually are. You'll realize that the ordinary self you've been resenting, the one who procrastinates, the one who likes bad TV, the one who worries too much, is actually quite fascinating. You are not a satellite orbiting other people's successes. You are the sun in your own system. You were valid the moment you were born, and everything you've added since then is just decoration. Accept the truth that the world tries so hard to hide. Most of us are destined to spend our lives in ordinary jobs. Most of us will grow old in the middle of domestic chores and unremarkable conversations. And that is not a tragedy. It is a homecoming. When you stop trying to prove how special you are, you finally gain the freedom to actually be yourself. You are not a project to be optimized. You are not a brand to be managed. You are a living, breathing, miraculously average human being. Go take a hot shower. Stare into space for 10 minutes. Let the laundry stay unfolded for one more night. Don't worry. The world isn't as busy as it wants you to think. It can wait for your 10 minutes of being perfectly, beautifully ordinary. Now, let it be enough.
Hey, good luck, man. Don't fucking give up and like don't listen to nobody. You do whatever you want to do. It's like, you know, it's like you gotta do what you gotta do. It's like you're in a fucking place. You gotta fucking hang out. It's what it's all about. It's like don't worry about it. Don't be scared about nothing. Best of luck to you. Don't be afraid. Don't listen to nobody who's negative either. Be positive.